Kohalo Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters, students, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be, and Shabbat Shalom. This is really off the dome. I had to jump on this, and prayerfully the Spirit will take over and, grab me some scriptures. But the first one that came to mind, I pulled it up instantly because I didn't want to forget. Okay, this is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 41:7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be a reproach for his sake. Now, obviously, this is talking about our people, but you can link this because as this devil is being revealed more and more, right, as the man of sin is being revealed, as Esau is being made bare, every day there is a layer being peeled from his costume, and the world is seeing them for who they are. They cannot take it. All right, it was all good, when they were benefiting from the ungodliness of their ancestors, their forefathers. But now that, the juice is running out, there ain't no more sugar in the juice. It's just bitter. They don't want to take it. So let's let this roll. I want you to pay attention to these fork-tongued fuckers. Excuse my French. Sorry. To the way that they shift. They try to shift. They never it never ceases to amaze me how they are able. And to the layman, to the person who is unlearned, and pretty much basically 80% of America, the brain dead masses, they will eat this up. Especially Middle America, right? The white Christians who stand with the J-ish over there, it's the same. But they never stay on topic. They try to slickly change the subject. And the serpent was the most subtle beast of the field, right? Let me get that, actually. Let me not butcher that. Let me just go to that really quick. Oh, shit. Boom. Boom. Alright, now the serpent, which was not an actual snake, okay? It's 2025, and you should know by now that is not an actual snake, okay? It's a representation of a people group who the manifestation physically went to Cain and then to Esau, all right? And now you see him manifest, like that spirit is in them to this day. You were about to witness it. You have been witnessing it if you have been on this earth for any amount of time. It was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Now remember, he went to the woman and told her, hey man, it's all good. You can, the Lord ain't, you ain't gonna die for real. You just, you finna see what you need to see, right? Just come on over here, all right? Take part in this lifestyle that has nothing to do with the oral traditions that were passed down and later are called the law, statutes, and commandments, right? That priesthood. That stuff's dated. It's old. This is how you need to live. I'm going to show you how to really turn up. And what has it done for us? Absolutely freaking nothing. So let's go, man. I didn't want this to be very long. It's going to be pretty short. But I'm going to pause it. So just be warned. I'm going to pause it quite a bit because we're going to point out every little time they exercise some little serpent-like tactic, okay? And also we will, Lord willing, we will do a deep dive into this museum that they are have changed.
Smithsonian. He's effectively now has some random person deciding what is appropriate for the Smithsonian to teach in terms of American history, things that don't...
It was a Smithsonian Museum for American History, right? So they're trying to rewrite the narrative, which is a tactic that they continuously do. You're witnessing it, you're seeing it real time, rewriting the narrative. They do dirt, they put themselves where they were not, in heroic positions where they were not, and then they remove themselves where they were in rat positions and lowly and in no good scoundrel-like positions that they were actually at. They put others in and they project. So you're witnessing a real-time operation of narrative control and rewriting.
Defend parts of the MAGA base, right? So we're now literally reviewing parts of American history and parts of American culture to make sure it comports with Dear Leader and what the MAGA
Can we
organization
address
wants.
some of those things that
So-
are in there? Because have you looked at some of the things that
Yeah,
are being
slavery.
reviewed?
Yeah, slavery was a bad thing that we should talk about.
Okay.
Like he forgave
He's
me for
not
saying that.
whitewashing slavery. So
he's not?
He's not. No.
Okay.
He's not. And you cannot tie imperialism and racism and slavery to just one race, which is pretty much what every single exhibit does. But let's talk about the fact that when you
In the
look
United States.
let's talk about the fact.
I mean, slavery in America was.
Do you realize that
white
only
supremacy.
less than 2% of white Americans own slaves?
Boom. There you go. There's one. There's talking point number one.
But it was a system of white
Do
supremacy.
you
know,
realize that
African
slavery
Americans
is
were
thousands
slaves
of
and
years old?
White people were
Do you know
the slave
who
owners.
was the first race to
I didn't
try
realize
to
this was
end
controversial.
slavery?
Wait a second.
Well, what's
I'm sorry, Jillian,
controversial?
I'm very
is-
surprised
This is
that
an
you're trying to
extraordinary
limit-
exercise.
And that was your hero complex. Who was the first race to try to end slavery? The first race to even to implement slavery in a way that you did. You were the first. All right, nations have conquered, and nations have conquered other nations, and then made those nations tributaries, right? But never ever has there ever been, you're a slave because of your skin color. You're a slave because my pseudoscience says so, that I just fucking made up out of the blue. Just a bunch of coked up Edomites, allegedly, PDF file Edomites, allegedly, just drumming up things and creating these weird sciences, these pseudosciences, and saying I'm better because I'm pale. It has never been done in that way. And furthermore, slavery is in the Bible. All right, slavery is an age-old thing. But look at how the Bible implements slavery, where you can take a servant of your own race, but you are to set him free after a certain amount of time, right? After 7 years, I believe. His debts are paid. There's some sort of order. And also, you know what? Let's let her get it.
Historical revisionism.
I'm really
Historical
surprised.
revisionism. Do you realize that
Jillian, I'm surprised that you're trying to litigate who was the beneficiary of slavery and
I'm
who
not.
was not.
What I'm trying to tell you is
in
that-
the context of American history.
Okay.
In the context of American history, what are you saying is incorrect by
What I'm
saying
is
that
you
it was white
cannot-
people oppressing black
every
people?
single thing is like, oh no, this is all because white people bad. And
But it actually can be summed up to that. And not just the tribe that was here in America, right? Because remember, Esau, Edom, just as the Israelites have 12 tribes, there are different tribes in Edom. And for some reason, everywhere you are, the people are troubled. Everywhere you are, the people are poor. Everywhere you are, the people are, their children go missing. There's the water pollution, air pollution, there's food insecurity, yet you thrive. Everywhere you are, death and hell follows. Why? Why?
that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad.
Why did they leave Cuba? Why were you there? Who did you overthrow? Who did you pit against each other? Who the two countries that were there, especially if you're talking especially in that closer area, in that whole Caribbean. What about how the Haitians and the Dominicans were pitted against each other, so you can continually have them fighting and then robbing them of resources? Haiti is a very rich and resource-rich country, but they were never left alone. Why?
Not because of Castro. Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door,
what exactly,
the first thing
hold
you
on,
see is the gay flag?
Jillian, you have a lot of stuff in front
Yeah,
of
I
you.
do,
What
because I don't,
exactly
because here's the thing.
are you talking about?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
There's one called Change Your Game.
Deflect. We are witnessing a deflection now. And instead of presenting any sort of facts, it was just a lot of word vomit to deflect from what actually is. So They asked him. The black girl, the so-called black girl, asked her, "Do you actually know what's in what was written, what was revised, what they are trying to do?" And then she immediately, without presenting any sort of factual evidence to show that could combat the allegation, she just goes into a bunch of word vomit, and now you witness the great deflection. Here's the changing of the subject.
Right? This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? Does that, and then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports. It's not complex. It's basic science. That's untrue. It's XX chromosome, XY chromosome. That's sports. Is it fair to have biological men competing against biological women in sports? No. But why is this in the Smithsonian? So it's been completely captured.
First of all, I don't.
And it's totally partisan.
We don't. First of all, we don't have time to litigate all of this.
Of course we don't, because then you're going to lose the argument.
No.
And everything is racialized, just like you're trying to do to me now.
Who started everything being racialized is in the very fabric of this place. Everything. All the way down to the ice cream song that you hear when the ice cream truck well, I guess most neighborhoods don't have them anymore, but back when you were a kid, a racial song. Home loans, interest rates, racial. Where you live, racial. The quality of food you get in certain areas, racial. Come on now.
Excuse me. It's like, I can't believe you're trying to suggest, that slavery
just to
is
be
a good
clear,
thing.
you brought up race.
No,
this was a conversation about the arts, and you brought up race.
It isn't.
You brought up.
But the whole point of this is that the issue
you brought up slavery, and you brought up the question of whether. You brought up the question of whether or not slavery in the United States is about race. The answer is yes.
I did not say
in the United States
don't
is
straw man my argument
race.
because that's not what I said.
So what are you?
Which, interesting, she should use the term straw manning her argument. And I what is that? Let's get it real quick. Let's see if that falls in line with what she said. Straw man argument is a fallacy where one misrepresents or distorts an opponent's argument to make it easier to attack. Instead of addressing the actual argument, the arguer creates a weaker, often exaggerated or oversimplified version of it, then refutes that distorted version. This creates the illusion of defeating the original argument, while in reality, it's an unrelated or altered point being refuted. Is that not what she just did? Is that not what this Edomite woman just did? To a point? To an extent? Because she just completely changed the subject when she couldn't bring out any sort of fact, and then started going about gender, in which the white MAGA base was like, yeah, a boy should be boy and a girl should be girl. Obviously. But that was not the point. And you see, very, very, very slick. Not really, but very slick. Good try. So we'll end it with one of my favorites. Lamentations, chapter 4. At the very end here. Rejoice and be glad. All right. So he's telling us, rejoice and be glad, because your captivity, your punishment. All right, the dregs of the cup you have drunk, and it's over for you. All right, you're good, Israel. You will be good, Yasharallah. But, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz, the cup also shall be passed through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, right? So I like to imagine, a representation of Esau, and then a representation of Jacob. So basically you just have Jacob and Esau, and, the Lord is talking to them. They're standing next to each other, and the Lord is talking to them, each one by one, going back and forth. This is what I'm addressing to you. This is what I'm addressing to you. That's how I like to imagine this as being written. And that cup, oh boy, that cup. Good God Almighty, that cup ain't. Scriptures say you gonna get double. So think about all the horrible things that you've done, and then you get double. And that is also within the confines of the law. We ain't gonna be, taking no other men's wives and messing with little boys and buck breaking and stuff like that. That is your culture. With that being said, man, shalom.